I think this is over like the last 6 months or so. They've gotten 20 million organic views. They've sold, I don't know, 20 some $1,000 worth of products, paid out like I don't remember, maybe $6,000 in commissions. I think the CPM worked out to be like 15 cents or something crazy like that.
Welcome to the My Wife Quit Her Job podcast. Today, I am thrilled to have Brett Curry back on the show. Brett is someone who I've known for almost a decade now. He recently spoke at my event, and I think he's spoken there, I don't know, every year for like the past 7 years, I want to say.
I think that's right.
Has it been 7 years? He runs OMG Commerce, which is an e-commerce agency that has helped hundreds of companies with their pay-per-click advertising. And we all know that social shopping is all the rage right now. And just a month ago, he gave an amazing talk on shoppable YouTube ads, which is Google's response to TikTok Shop. And I did not get a chance to see his talk live, even though it was my own event. But I did catch the recording last night, and I had so many questions. So today, we're going to dig deep on how to leverage YouTube for your e-commerce business. And with that, welcome to the show, Brett. How you doing?
Steve, what's up, man? I am thrilled to be back. I think is this round 4, probably,
I
for
think it's round 4.
me appearing on your pod, which is great. I love this pod, love chatting with you. And yeah, hey, Stellar Summit, for those that have not made the trip to Fort Lauderdale yet, you got to do it. It's one of my favorite communities, one of my favorite events. And yeah, the pack the talk that I gave this time was packed. And
It was
super
packed. The
fun.
whole room was packed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people want to know about YouTube, right? People want to diversify and understand what's cooking there. And so yeah, we got YouTube ads and we got YouTube organic and we got YouTube affiliate, which is kind of their answer to TikTok shops. And so lots of fun stuff we could dive into.
So what's up with OMG? So are more and more clients asking for social promotion now and TikTok, YouTube help?
Yeah, it's really interesting. So we don't do TikTok shops directly. We do pull in a resource if a client really wants that and they don't have a solution for it. People are talking about TikTok shops regularly, although it is a bit split. I'm not sure what you're hearing, Steve, but like it kind of runs the gamut. So a good friend of mine, actually, you know him too. I didn't get approval to mention this, so I won't say his name, but he's literally 5x his business. Was not a bad business, but literally 5x growth on TikTok shops. Just talked to another brand that everyone would know here. They're in the food and bev space, and they're like, yeah, tried TikTok shops, did nothing. Like we're abandoning it. We're doing other things, right? So it does seem to be hit or miss. It does seem to apply to certain categories and maybe not as well to others. But people are still interested. But yeah, the interest in YouTube over the last quarter has really ticked up, and I think there's a few reasons for that. One, there's just a constant drive to diversify. So still most D2C brands, the majority of their ad spend is on Meta, and that's fine, probably rightfully so for most brands. But that's an uncomfortable place to be in, right? If I'm spending 70% of my ad budget on Meta, I feel like Zuck has got a little bit too much control over my brand, and so I'm looking to diversify. So that's a piece of it.
Yep.
But then there's also, did you see the House Analytics incrementality study done on YouTube? And it's HAUS, but it's
Is that the one you
House.
referenced in your talk?
It's one I referenced in the
Yes.
talk.
Yep.
Yeah. Super interesting. So my friend Andrew Ferris, awesome podcast. He interviewed Olivia Corey from House Analytics. But basically, what they did is they studied like 190. They did 190 incrementality studies involving YouTube, 74 brands. So these are big brands like AG1 and Ridge and stuff like that. And they found that YouTube is wildly more incremental, wildly more impactful.
You're going to have to define all these terms, by the way.
I will, yes.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So it's wildly more impactful in terms of real results than what you see in platform. And I think a lot of us are used to platforms over-exaggerating, right? Or like platforms taking credit for everything.
Yep.
For a few reasons, and I can unpack them here as we go. YouTube is the opposite. YouTube is going to undercount, underreport. So it's going to look bad in platform, but the real results are quite positive. And so we can unpack that. But that's just got a ton of coverage in the space. And so a lot of people are like, hey, I need to give YouTube another look. And so we fielded a lot of conversations because of that.
Let's take a step back just in case the listeners have no idea anything about YouTube. But what are shoppable YouTube ads? Can you just define that first?
Yeah. So there's a few ways to look at this. So shoppable YouTube ads, those can just be like the pre-roll ads. So I'm on YouTube. I'm about to watch my Mr. Beast video or a cooking video or whatever. There's a pre-roll video that pops up. Usually they're skippable, so I can hit skip after 5 seconds. And they either have just a call to action button around it, or it could have your products listed right beside that video. So that would be a true shoppable ad where it's like, hey, your product feed for relevant products that you talk about in that video, they're right there by the video on YouTube. So I can click and buy there. There's certain cases we use those, and certain cases we don't. And then you've got the opportunities to take creators' content, so people that have a following on YouTube, they maybe talked about your product, and you can turn that into an ad as well.
Right.
And so that there's opportunities there. But YouTube it's an interesting beast, right? There's so many different platforms. Like it's wildly popular on connected TVs now. It's the most streamed connected TV channel. It's
It's
YouTube
a funny
Shorts is
stat.
growing, things like that. Yeah.
I was
What's
I was
that?
just looking at my channel statistics for YouTube,
Yeah.
and it was something crazy. Like almost 40% watch my videos on a TV and not on a
Yeah.
phone.
Yeah. I'm sure that surprised you, right? Like really? People are watching e-commerce news and events and the stuff on TV. But yes,
Exactly.
the answer is they are.
Which just shows like TV is hurting, right?
It
These
is. It
Yeah,
is. Yeah. Yeah. Well, so get a load of this. YouTube has been and this is not just YouTube TV. YouTube TV is thrown into this. So like we use YouTube TV as a family. So that's our cable subscription. So I watch ESPN and all the sports programming that I watch that through YouTube TV. But this is way more than that. So this is the good old fashioned YouTube app, but on connected TVs.
yeah,
It's bigger than Netflix. It's way big. So it's bigger than Netflix. Netflix is number two, but YouTube is bigger than Hulu. It's bigger than Disney Plus. It's bigger than Peacock, and it's bigger than one other, Prime Video. All of those combined, meaning more people stream YouTube on their connected TV than all those other platforms combined. Not more than Netflix. Netflix is number two. But yeah, people are just consuming YouTube on connected TVs, and it's a great experience, right? Like when I let my kids watch TV, they're oftentimes watching YouTube and consuming it that way. So it's a great user experience, but it does feed back to the tracking issue that we had
right.
before,
That's
right?
what I
If you're
was getting
watching on
at.
TV,
Yeah,
there's no clicks.
right.
You can send to phone. There's QR codes and stuff like that, but most people don't do that, right? You're watching TV, and
Yep.
so there are essentially no clicks from there. But those ads can be very, very impactful.
So in your talk, you mentioned like if the YouTube dashboard for your ads says a 1x return on ad spend, it's
Yeah.
really equivalent to 3.5 or something
Right.
crazy like that.
Yeah.
And then, so one of the tenets of your talk was stop paying attention to ROAS and start paying more attention to iROAS, which I wanted you to
Mhm.
define real quick before we go into depth on that
Totally.
topic. Yeah.
Yeah. So the I in iROAS, it's not an Apple product, right? That's kind of what it sounds like, but it's incremental ROAS, meaning it's the cost for sales you wouldn't have gotten anyway, and that's the essence of incrementality, right? And I think a good uh, example to use here is let's take branded search, and we don't want to make this podcast about branded search. I've definitely got a point of view there. I think you should do it, but you should temper it. Don't want to spend too much. But it's probably one of those things where if you turned off branded search completely, you might not feel the impact, at least not right away on your business, right? So that's not incremental, meaning you turn it on, you turn it off, yeah, not really getting any additional sales. However, for a lot of brands, if you're spending 70% of your budget on Meta and you shut Meta off, I promise you're going to see a decline in sales. And not just a decline in Meta sales, but you'll see a decline on Amazon and other places and stuff like that.
Yep.
So that's highly incremental, meaning you got those sales because of the advertising, and you wouldn't have gotten them otherwise. So that's true incrementality. And so what Google does now, and Meta does this and stuff too, is that they'll do incrementality studies on your behalf, where they'll look at, hey, these are users that saw an ad, these are users that didn't see an ad. What was the purchase behavior? How different was it? And so that's going to give you kind of this iROAS number to say, what's really going on with my advertising? Is this really working, or is it not?
Do they do that for everyone or just the big guys?
So it's becoming more and more accessible, and we actually just did a training with our Google team earlier this week, where there's three types of studies that we try to run on a continual basis for our clients. One is called Brand Lift, and you've probably seen this, Steve, if you're on YouTube. Sometimes that pre-roll ad that you get served is a survey, like, hey, have you seen an ad for Geico and Allstate and Progressive this month or whatever? And so you click yes or no or whatever. So that's part of brand lift. So Google is conducting those surveys on behalf of their advertisers and then feeding that information back to advertisers. So what you can do with brand lift is you can see like, hey, are my ads causing an increase in awareness? Are they causing an increase in purchase consideration? But it's all survey based. I
Mm,
think those are mildly beneficial. I think if you're spending a lot of money, they can be. And if you're progressive or if you're Allstate or something like that, you probably want that data. I think for a lot of our clients, for a lot of D2C brands, 8, 9 figure brands, it's somewhat helpful. So that's one thing that we do run just in case there are some good insights there. The next thing is search lift. I love this one. So this is where Google looks at, hey, people that saw your ad, people that didn't see your ad, how did they differ in their search behavior? So basically, what this is trying to understand is if someone saw your YouTube ad, are they more likely to search for your brand? And specifically, how much of a lift did that create in searches? I love this metric because I think this is what YouTube should do, right? If I'm on
yeah.
my TV, I'm watching the latest Steve Chu video, I got popcorn and a LaCroix, whatever I'm consuming, and I see this ad, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. But I can't miss Steve Chu. Like I got to stick around and watch this. So, but afterwards, I'm going to go search, right? Afterwards, I'm going to go search for whatever ad I saw, and that's how I'm going to do it. And so that search lift, super, super important. So we run those continuously. And then the third one, and this is newer. This is like the IRO as what I was talking about. It's called
Yep.
conversion lift, and basically it's similar to search lift. It's like, hey, here's a group of users that didn't see your ad. Here's a group of users that did see your ad. What was the difference in
So
purchase
they
behavior?
split test that. Does that happen automatically when you run YouTube
They
ads?
do. That does not happen automatically,
Okay.
but you can set these up to be running continuously, and so then you can constantly be measuring it. So then it's like, okay, I can see click data, I can see conversion data, I can see view data. All that is automatically there. But then these are additional things to layer in because
Okay.
we've seen this a lot. Like big advertisers, Arctic, they're more than coolers. We did a big push for them last year for coolers. Their Yeti competitor, and our whole goal was, can we drive sales to Walmart? And it was a considerable lift. It was like ranged from 15 to 25% lift in Walmart sales because of this ad campaign. We won an agency excellence award for it. But those were like, you didn't see those conversions in YouTube, right? Because those conversions were happening on Walmart, but we were able to kind of see search lift and brand lift and some of these things that helped, inform, are we on the right track as we're going here?
Hey, just a quick heads up. Tickets for my annual e-commerce conference, the Seller Summit, are now on sale over at sellersummit.com. If you run an e-commerce business selling physical products, this event was built for you. Unlike typical events filled with broad advice and feel-good stories, the Seller Summit is all about real strategies you can actually use. Every speaker I invite is deep in the trenches, running their own store and dealing with the same challenges you face every single day. Now, we keep the event intentionally small, just 200 people, so it stays intimate, and you actually get time to connect, ask questions, and have meaningful conversations. I've sold out every single year for the past 9 years. And if your store is already doing over $250K or $1 million in revenue, we also run a private mastermind with other top sellers in the space. You can learn more and grab your ticket over at sellersummit.com. Now back to the show. So here's my problem. Like I've been spoiled with ads, right? Where you
Yeah,
get a click and it leads to a conversion and
yeah,
you can tie it. And if you use tools, you can see the whole click path, right? My problem with YouTube ads is it's kind of like TV, right? In the
it
old
is.
in the
It
old
is. Yeah.
days, right? Where
Yep.
you run the ad and you might see a lift, but it's not really easily measurable,
Yeah.
right? So as a small guy, like a little guy, and I want to run these YouTube ads, how am I going to prove to myself that I'm not just flushing money down the drain?
Yeah, yeah. It's a great call out. And so I think that there's a few things to keep in mind here. That analogy is really sound. Now, I think YouTube isn't just like TV, but I think it's like this generation's TV, only
Right.
way better in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But you got YouTube Shorts, which is a little more social and things like that. But yeah, back in the day, if I was running a TV ad, I got no click data. I got nothing, right? I could just see, did the cash register ring a little bit more? Did I get more cash coming in? But we've all been spoiled, right? Because we're running sponsored product ads on Amazon, we're running
Yeah.
Google Shopping ads on Google. We can see click, keyword, purchase. We can see all that stuff, right? And I do think all of those things are the best place to start. But here's how I would look at YouTube if I was smaller. And even going back to like that house analytics study, that was AG1 and Ridge and eight and nine figure
Yeah.
D2C brands. So what they do isn't necessarily what the rest of us would do right out of the gate. So I'll give you an example. Got a client, they're in the pickleball space. So pickleball apparel, pickleball paddles, awesome brand. So they're like, hey, we've got some pretty cool YouTube content. How do we get the most out of that? How can we lean in and start getting traffic? So here's what we recommended to them. This is one of those categories where if someone is into pickleball, they are really into pickleball, right? So it's almost like golfing or camping and outdoors and fishing. Or like, I bought a 4x4 truck a couple years ago. I got really into it for a little bit. I'm into Blackstone, griddle, cooking on a griddle now.
Yeah.
So I'm always watching Blackstone videos, and so pickleball is like that, right? Like when you are interested in pickleball, you start watching content for fun about pickleball. So here's what we did. We're like, hey, let's get some of your review videos, your reviews about your paddles, and their paddles are unique and they're awesome. And like the founder of the brand was a championship pickleball player or whatever. And so we're like, hey, we're gonna run some view-based campaigns, meaning we're running these campaigns to get views, to get engagements, just to show up, in front of people. We're not going to see probably any conversions, really, not directly attributable conversions, but that's okay. We're not going to spend a lot of money on it. But then what we did is we said, hey, let's target these pickleball channels. So these are our favorite pickleball tutorial channels, people learning how to improve their serve or improve whatever their doubles game or that type of thing. Or there's also some channels where these are all pickleball paddle reviews, right? So someone is watching a review on pickleball paddles, and that's something that's really been growing over time, where people use YouTube for years, like for product recommendations and product reviews, but we're seeing that trend line increase where people are looking at, hey, this product versus that product on YouTube, or this product review, this product demonstration. They're looking for that on YouTube. And in fact, I saw a stat recently that was kind of interesting, that 80% of users on the internet say they trust YouTube creators more than other influencers or more than other creators. And so thought that was kind of interesting. But people go to YouTube to look for these recommendations. So we're doing for the pickleball companies, we're saying, hey, let's just run your pickleball paddle review video and some of these educational videos on your paddles. Let's just target all these channels. We won't spend a lot of money. Maybe it's, I can't remember exactly what we recommended for them, but maybe it's $20 a day, maybe it's $50 a day, maybe it's $100 a day. We're
Oh,
just
that's
getting
it?
views.
Okay.
That's it. Just getting views. Now, you're not going to get conversions there directly, but over time, you can start to see, hey, are more people searching for my brand on Amazon? Are more people searching for my brand on Google? Am I seeing a lift in unattributed sales, right? Where maybe I'm getting like a lift in
Yeah.
direct sales, through Google Analytics 4, things like that. So you have to just do a little more sleuthing, or a little more looking for, okay, where could these sales be showing up? So that's the way to get started. Now, if you want to go hard on like conversion focused campaigns, so I'm bidding to get customers at an acceptable CPA or acceptable CAC or whatever, then you got to kind of shift gears into a conversion focused campaigns. And those, they don't technically have minimums, but like there's some kind of rules of thumb you need to use to get the algorithm enough conversions where it actually is going to work. And so that does often take minimums. Like you probably want to be in the $300 to $500 a day, maybe 1,000 a day is even better. Like to
That
get
actually
those
doesn't even
campaigns
sound
going.
bad. Can you
Yeah,
set some expectations with the first method that you described?
sure,
Like how
sure.
much time should you give it minimum?
Yeah. So there's a couple things you can look for here. I would totally look at that as a long-term play. So set a budget where it's like, hey, I could spend this for 3 months, and if nothing happens, I won't be excited, but it won't kill me.
Right.
But what I would look at immediately then, so start running those campaigns. Look at what is my view rate. So with all of these ads, someone can choose to skip if they want to, right?
Right.
The pre-roll ad pops up. You're like, curse you, ad. I want to move on. So you can see what the skip rate is, what the view rate is. Generally speaking, I like to see a view rate that's north of 20%. If that can be north of 40%, even better. If it's on a connected TV, it probably does need to be like 50% or higher to show like, hey, this is good content. People like it, and I'm
Mhm.
reaching the right audience. So I would look at view metrics right away. You can look at things like views that happen after they watch that. So if you got a channel, like I know you've got a channel, this pickleball company's got a channel. So did somebody see the ad and then did they consume more of my content? That's a good
Mm,
signal that, hey, okay, they're kind of into my content and checking it out. Um, And then what I would look for is okay, am I seeing a lift in branded search? Am I seeing a lift in direct traffic and things like that? But I would definitely run it for several weeks. But just know, like, you can get that view data and that engagement data really
Mhm.
quickly to show, am I reaching the right person, and is my creative
Right.
striking a chord? Yeah.
And it sounds like branded search is a really good indicator, right?
It is. It is. Yeah, because I mean that's generally the next step, right?
Right.
Occasionally someone's going to click. You'll get click data in these campaigns too. So even if it is a view-based campaign, you'll see click data. It's just not that many people click, right? It's like
Yeah. Yeah.
half the click-through rate of Meta. So it's not that much, but you'll see it. But then it's like, yeah, are people searching for me? But I would look, if you're selling on Amazon and you're selling on your own.com, look at branded search in both places. We ran this for, we ran YouTube at, we got to almost $1 million a month in spend for a big hair care brand,
Mhm.
but their Amazon just took off like a rocket. And we determined over time, and they had a data scientist team. They're pretty advanced, pretty sophisticated, but they determined for every one sale we were getting D2C from YouTube, they were getting two on Amazon. Just kind of based on the way they backed into the numbers. So you do have to look at both places, both .com and on Amazon if you're selling in both places.
Yeah, yeah, I think, the numbers for TikTok Shop are similar. 3X
Yeah, I bet they are. Yeah.
Amazon and maybe like 30% on your D2C store.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. So it'd be almost exactly the same. Yeah.
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 Well, look, I wanna switch gears a little bit and just kinda talk about YouTube's answer to TikTok Shop,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's pretty new,
It
and
is.
not a lot of people know about it, so, give
Yeah.
us the scoop, Brett.
Yeah. So, one, I'm really excited about this. I don't know that this current iteration is going to be the thing or the answer, but I am optimistic that YouTube's going to be able to figure this out. And honestly, if they don't figure it out, that's on them, right? YouTube's got the viewers, YouTube has the creators, YouTube has the format. Like, this should work. If it doesn't, that's just because YouTube drops the ball, right?
Okay.
So I do want to make a couple of comparisons here where, um, you know, TikTok I think has the ability to go viral quickly, right?
Yep.
Like the right creator, the right content, it can go from zero to off the charts viral. YouTube doesn't really do that, right? It's yes, there's viral content, but a lot of times the content gets better over time, right? You
Yeah.
you post a video that's a review on the latest Toyota Tundra, or you post a video that's this new Blackstone accessory or whatever. It's probably going to grow over time, and maybe 2 years from now, it's getting more views than it gets right now. Whereas TikTok, it's dead in
Yeah.
a week or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just different. But the way this is working now is Google has created a portal where you can connect your brand with creators on YouTube. And this is all kind of done through Merchant Center now. So if you're running Google Shopping, you're running Performance Max, you've got a Merchant Center account. That's where your all your product data, that's where your product feed lives, is inside a Merchant Center.
You need to have a feed in order for this to work, right?
You do need to have a feed in
Okay.
order for this to work. You do,
Yeah.
yeah. And so then the way this works is basically you get signed up for the program. It's an open beta now, so anybody can get involved. You set a commission, so you're like, hey, I'm willing to pay 15, 20, 30, 50, whatever the percent is you're willing to pay to a creator if they sell my product. And then creators can see that. They sign up for the program, they select your brand, they start tagging your products in their videos. Let's say that I'm doing a makeup tutorial, and Boom by Cindy Jones, or Boom Beauty, I mean, Ezra Firestone's company.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, I love the moisturizer, I'm gonna tag the moisturizer, right? And so you tag that, and then in the video we're talking about moisturizers. That shoppable, clickable product listing pops up there right adjacent to the video. So kind of below it if it's on mobile, beside it if it's on desktop, that type of thing. And so then if someone's watching that organic piece of content and they see the tag for that Boom product, they click on it, they buy. Now that affiliate gets a commission. And so it's pretty slick. There's still some bugs to be ironed out. Like right now, you can find creators that you want to reach out to, but you can't reach out to them in the platform, right? You got to you can find them inside of YouTube
Okay.
affiliate, but then you just got to manually go reach out and find them. People can find you, and so that's what we've seen. But I'll give you some numbers here that kind
Sure.
of paint, I think, the potential here. So we have a client in the sleep space, a really cool brand, fun brand. So we set them up here. We didn't do a lot to promote it. We're like, hey, let's just see. They didn't do a lot to promote it. Well, a handful of creators were like, ooh, we love this product. We're going to tag it and start trying to sell it. And so I think this is over like the last 6 months or so. They've gotten 20 million organic views. They've sold, I don't know, 20 some $1,000 worth of products, paid out like four to, I don't remember, maybe $6,000 in commissions. Um, I think the CPM worked out to be like 15 cents or something crazy like that, right? Where like, a good CPM on Google or on YouTube ads is like from, $18 on down. I know Meta can be kind of all over the board, but yeah, it was like 13 cents cost per thousand.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think there's real potential here as long as Google can make this easier for creators to find products, for brands to connect with creators. I kind of think they need to solve that communication piece eventually. That's gonna be really helpful. But that's basically it. It's, hey,
Okay.
creators can tag your products in their organic videos. They earn a commission. You get the exposure from those organic videos. And so it's pretty powerful. Then, similar to TikTok shops, over time, you can say, oh, wow, these 3 or 4, 10 creators, like their videos really took off. So I'm going to take the clip of them talking about my product. I'm going to turn that into an ad. And so that's called
Walk me
it's
through the
called Brand Direct
process,
Connect. Yeah.
because I'm pretty familiar with the TikTok shop process where you
Yep.
have to get a certain number of sales and then you can message, 7,000 creators a week and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's all built in. Is the affiliate program at least built into YouTube directly? So you don't have, does YouTube handle the money or
Yeah,
the
so YouTube will handle the commissions. Yep, yep,
Okay.
yep. So
All
they
right.
can handle it. The communication is up to you, but basically this is all set up in Google Merchant Center. And so there's a couple of caveats here. One, in order to participate, you have to either use the Google YouTube app by Shopify. So it's the
Yep.
Shopify app.
Yeah.
A lot of brands are using that anyway.
Yeah.
If you're not using that, though, there is good news in, let's say you're using like Data Feed Watch or Channable or Feedonomics or something like that. You can keep using that solution for shopping and PMAX and stuff. You'll need to add, though, that Google and YouTube app for Shopify for the YouTube affiliate. So you've got to have that. So that's a must. Or you got to be using CJ, which used to be Commission Junction,
Yeah.
Impact, and there's one other. I'll look it up here in a
That's
minute
okay. Yeah.
while you're talking. But there's like 4 options. So you got to have that set up. If you have that set up, then YouTube can handle the commissions and stuff like
I
that.
see. So
So
YouTube, if you're using like CJ or whatever, you're using CJ's affiliate, or YouTube is using CJ's affiliate link, and
yeah,
it's all
yeah, yeah.
tracked.
You connect the two. So whichever those you're using, you're connecting that to
I
Merchant
see.
Center
Okay.
and into YouTube affiliate. And basically, then in your Merchant Center, where you see like promotions and products and stuff, there's going to be a section that's YouTube affiliate, and you'll click in that, and then you'll see
So
all your
YouTube is
data
not
information.
collecting the money in this case.
Correct, correct.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
what the reason why I'm mentioning all that is that means the merchant is responsible for paying the commission,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So if they choose not to, I mean, in theory, they could screw over their affiliates, which has
Yeah,
happened
yeah.
in the past. It's happened to me a bunch of times, actually.
Interesting, interesting.
Yeah,
See, I'm not sure all the remedies that Google has in place, to
yeah.
to protect creators and brands and stuff like that. But I do think there's going to be a solution where people can just check out. I mean, I know there's some options that Google's played with in the
I mean, it's
past.
great for brands, right? The checkout
It is.
happens
Yeah.
on their site,
Right.
and they
Yep.
get all
Yep.
the information.
You
And
own the customer at that point.
yeah,
All of that. Yeah. Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, it's great
Yeah.
for merchants. Okay,
Yeah.
I like it. Okay,
Mhm.
walk me through the process of outreach. Like you worked with this brand, right?
Yeah.
You have to get
Yeah.
people to promote your stuff.
You do, you do. So there's one of the easiest things to do is there's like this way to promote your offer to creators, and this is something you sign up for inside a Merchant Center. And so basically, it's like you say, hey, this is our normal commission rate. We're doing a deal where we're doubling the commission or whatever for this period of time. Here's why. Here's some messaging, stuff like that. It's basically a form you fill out that's like a promotion. Google then will send that to creators and for them to say, "Oh, cool, I like this. I'm gonna take advantage of this." So that's probably the clearest, easiest thing to do. Also, if you have stuff built and you've got a bit of a brand anyway, creators will find you, right?
Mm,
I obviously wouldn't lean into that as like your
sure, of course.
the field of dreams strategy, right? If we build it, they'll come. Like that, don't lean on that, but that does happen if you're a brand that's got some traction. But then the other piece is like it's just super duper manual right now. So what you
Yeah.
can do, and this is helpful ish, you can start searching within the YouTube affiliate portal inside a Merchant Center and say, okay, I want like plant based diets, or I want Blackstone griddle cooking, or I want fly fishing, whatever the case is, then it's going to populate. Here are the top creators. You can start looking at filters for like, hey, I only want people that have gotten 50,000 views in the last 30 days, or I want people with a certain subscriber count. And so you can start to filter those. You can then build a list, and you can save that list. But then it's up to you to just go knocking on those doors, right?
Right.
Then you
Which
and
is
you can reach
okay.
out through like their
Yeah.
YouTube channel and stuff. But you can build the list, and you get the stats, and you get all the information. You can also then decide, okay, so like this is my top tier of affiliates I want to go after, or creators I want to go after. So I'm going to build this list, and all of these people, they get a 30% commission, right? Everybody else gets a 15% commission or
Right.
whatever. And so then you can reach out and tell them like, hey, I really want to work with you. I love your content. I'm doubling your commission, whatever the case is. And so then that makes that outreach a little bit easier. So yeah, it's pretty manual at this point,
Right.
but you at least have a few options that makes it a little bit easier.
So right now it's basically the old influencer model, with the
Yeah,
exception that they can easily grab your products and tag you
right.
in there. That's the new step,
Super
basically.
easy. It's like,
Yeah.
yes, great. I love this makeup brush, or this, whatever, this Blackstone
Right.
spatula. So I'm just going to tag it in my video, and boom, now I'm done. Now Google tracks it
And
all.
only approved affiliate platforms are allowed.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
So you can't
It's really
like
just
take
those that I mentioned. Yep.
oh, just as so you can't take like Refersion or something like that, which you already have on your Shopify store, for example,
Nope.
and
Nope.
you can't use it. Okay.
You can't use that. So yeah, it's got to be that. It's got to be that YouTube app. So it's got to be the Shopify YouTube Google app. It can be Impact, Rakuten, or CJ. Those are the
Okay.
only options.
Right.
Yeah,
Like those are like the biggest ones, actually.
biggest ones. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, yep,
Okay, I get
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, this is a lot different than TikTok, which
It
manages
is.
everything, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
would think that with YouTube's resources, they could easily replicate this.
I
Like
would
what?
think so, and I think they're going to get there. We're connected to a couple of the global product managers that are running this, and so I'm talking to them all the time.
Mhm.
I mean, they can't be like super open about what's on the
Of
roadmap,
course.
but I I think they've got to get there, just because then they'll never be able to compete, right? The
Yeah.
beauty of TikTok Shops is you can do it all there. Right now, you can't inside of YouTube, but I still think it's worth test it out, because they've got all the ingredients to make it work,
Yeah,
and so
I like the
hopefully,
idea, but just think about it from a creator perspective. Now I need to go sign up for CJ or Impact, which I guess isn't a big deal. I already have accounts at both of those.
yeah.
But the fact that each one could potentially have a different one, right? Each one of
Yeah,
those
yeah, yeah,
creators.
yeah.
I like the idea. Is this mainly for long form or does it apply to short form as well?
In terms of the creator content, longer short
Yeah.
form content, it can be either. Yeah, so that this can apply to shorts, it can apply to long form. It does seem like a lot of the videos that get traction from creators are longer form.
Okay.
5 minutes, 20 minutes, things like that, somewhere in that range. But it does depend, and this can work for shorts.
Okay. So let's tie it back to our original conversation now with
Yeah,
iROAS. All right. So
yeah,
most of these people are watching stuff on their TV. TikTok, everyone's on their phone, right?
yep.
So if this shows up on the TV and there's products there, there's no click. That means the affiliates don't get paid out, right? And
Mm,
then the
it's a
brand
great point.
equity is for the seller, it's great, I think, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You get the brand equity no matter what.
It's a great question. I mean, so yeah, I think one of the things that Google is trying to solve, and they're talking about this. I talked about this a little bit at Google Marketing Live recently. Is depending on like the kind of remote you have for your connected TV, you can like navigate to click on that or whatever. I don't know. That seems a little bit cumbersome, and I don't tend to do that with my remote. I don't think a
Yeah.
lot of people do. You've also got the QR code that people can scan and stuff. But yeah, it does create a bit of an issue, right? So yeah, is Google gonna be able to attribute that back to the creator? That does create some
It
challenges
seems
for
like
sure.
Google needs to use Google Pay for all this stuff and not do the transaction on
Mm,
the Shopify store,
yeah,
right?
potentially, and then maybe that's quickly on the horizon. I'm not sure, but that in a lot of ways that does make sense. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. All right. So it seems, at least to me, and I know you've gotten results with your clients. It seems to me it's not quite up to par with TikTok Shop. Just not
for
even.
sure
Yeah.
not. No, it's
Yeah.
it's in its infancy. So this is more like, hey, do you want to be an early adopter?
Right.
Do you believe in YouTube? Does your product really fit with like YouTube creators? I think a lot of products do. I think there's creators for almost any niche, but yeah, it's not built out in the same way where like you're not going to 5x your business with YouTube affiliate like you might with TikTok shops right now.
Right.
But hey, getting in early may cause you to be ahead of your competitor.
Yeah. Okay. So it seems like what we talked about in the beginning with YouTube ads is completely different than what we just talked about
It
with
is.
right.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
if you already have an influencer marketing strategy, this is just like one extra piece to it where you're
Hmm.
saying, hey, now you can tag the product super easy and this is how you do it.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas before you'd have to put the link in the description and whatnot, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Some other way. So like, I know Sean from the Ridge, brilliant guy. One of the ways they really grew the Ridge in the beginning was they reached out to a ton of YouTube influencers, like Fortnite creators, and just men's fashion and whatnot. And they're like, hey, just talk about, do a live read of Ridge in the middle of the video. We'll pay you for pay commissions. But then then you gotta like give them their own link. They've got to reference that in the video, or
Yeah.
sometimes you do like we'll just pay you for views type of thing. So, but that's all very, very manual. This at least is easier in that tag a product, track it. It's pretty straightforward.
So
Yeah.
walk me through the negotiation then. So can you pay a creator less to make the video now and include the commission since it's in theory more commissionable? Does it change the negotiation?
Yeah, so potentially. Now, I haven't talked to Sean about this specifically. Like, hey, are you using YouTube affiliate and you're doing your old outreach? I'm not really sure what he's doing.
Yeah.
But for the brands we've helped so far, they've kind of treated this as just separate. Like, hey, just tag the product, we'll pay the commission, end of story type of thing.
Okay.
So I know other people. Just talking to another agency owner recently, and they're looking at, hey, let's reach out to a creator. We'll pay them for the first 30 days of the views. We'll pay them on a CPM basis. So I think you got stuff like that. You could layer that. You could say, hey, I'll pay you a CPM, and I'll pay you the commission on the product. So I mean, I think there's a variety of ways you can go.
Right.
But most of the people that we see testing this right now, they're just saying, hey, tag the product, we'll pay you commission, and it's a win-win at that point.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
I guess the hard part is always to get them to make the video, right? Like
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
to feel
exactly.
incentivized that
They do.
they'd be
They
able to do
do.
this.
Yeah. And that's where I think, because we had a conversation about this just recently. Someone was like, well, I want to pay like a 10% commission. I'm like, wait a minute. What's like your customer acquisition cost? Like, what are you paying, Meta or Google? And they're like, well, we're like a, 2.5 ROAS. I'm like,
Right.
so you're giving up almost half the sale to
Yeah.
Meta, but you only want to pay 10% to the affiliate. They're not gonna do it. Like, why? Why want to pay them the same? Or, anyway, so you got to think
I
about it
get it
that way
actually. It's
too,
psychological. It's totally psychological. I don't
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's different. Well, I mean, okay, but and so I'm not saying you have to give away half, but like incentivize it. Like the good affiliates are good, and they're going to go after. They're going to lean into the products that pay them, and so yeah. So
That's what I
I
was
think you
gonna
think about that.
ask you actually too, because at least on TikTok and whatnot, commissions are typically, 15 to 20. But
Hmm.
you're right. Like if you're paying 50% on Meta, like
Yeah,
for some reason there's this psychological barrier
there is, there
with
is, yeah,
physical products where people don't want to go beyond 20,
yeah.
right?
And that's a five ROAS. You're paying
Yeah.
20%. That's a five ROAS. You're probably not getting that anywhere. So, hey, listen, I'm a huge fan of testing. Like if you start running at 20% commission, you start getting results, or 10%, great. But I would just challenge that thinking of, hey, what is my acceptable cost per acquisition, and I'll pay close to that to
Yeah.
an affiliate, to a creator, right? Because it's the same.
All right. So we actually talked a lot a- in a lot of broad categories in this talk. So give me your perfect customer or store that would want to try YouTube ads? Like, how much are they making? How much are they willing to
Yeah.
burn? Um,
Mm, mm. It's a great call out. So I think the easy answer is like if I was or the broad answer is if I owned a brand of my own, I would almost certainly try YouTube to some degree. So I might do that first strategy I talked about, like the pickleball company, where it's like, I'm spending $20 a day, $30 a day targeting these
right.
types of channels and stuff, just because I think it's going to have a little bit of an impact. Now, that's not like the best client for us necessarily, and so let me kind of differentiate that, and let me talk about who do I think can really scale on YouTube. Who are
Okay.
the brands like in that house analytics study that are? Oh, and also those brands were spending about 30% of their Meta budget on YouTube. So
Okay.
they're spending $1 million a month on Meta. They were spending 300,000 a month on YouTube,
Okay.
or more. So that was just kind of as a
A
comparison
guideline.
there, as a
Yep.
point of reference. Yeah. But basically, what I'm looking for there is one, I do want to be comfortable with knowing I'm going to have to kind of triangulate the performance of YouTube. It's not going to be quite as clear or cut and dry as it is inside of Meta. So I got to be comfortable with that. Also, I'm looking for either something that's high LTV, meaning it's a subscription based product or multiple purchases, or I know I've got it dialed in how much I'm going to earn from a customer, like in the first 60, 90, 180, that type of thing. So what's that LTV? Or it needs to be a higher ticket item product, so like higher consideration set and things like that. If this is a commodity product, a really lower price product, I may not lean into YouTube unless there's a ton of volume. Some exceptions would be like Native. We ran Native's YouTube for 6 years. They grew tremendously with it, and stick of deodorant's $12 or
That's a
whatever. But
consumable though.
it's a consumable, and
Yeah.
like, hey, it's a high LTV. So I get someone trying Native, they love it, they're going to stick forever. So we ran their direct response YouTube. We ran YouTube to drive retail sales in Target, Walmart, CVS, things like that. But generally, yeah, I want someone that's got a higher LTV or a higher AOV. And so generally, like, if I am looking at a direct conversion campaign in YouTube, meaning I'm bidding on conversions, I'm training the algorithm on conversions, it's pretty rare that you see a cost per conversion under $50, right? You just rarely see that. Now, generally, there's going to be other conversions happening that you can't track, so it's probably lower than that. But just know in platform, that's probably what you're going to see, but it may be pushing like 80 or 100. So you got to kind of understand that that's what it's going to look like. And so am I comfortable with that? And so generally that's what we're looking for. And then I want something that's also lends itself well to visual storytelling. And this can be about anything, right? We partner with the folks at Raindrop Creative. They did a lot of work with Native when we were working there. But they've got like laundry sauce, which is laundry detergent, right? They've got Dr. Squatch, which is soap, Shady Rays, which is sunglasses. So it can be about anything, but can you lean into some good visual storytelling?
So let's wrap this up then. It seems like a few things are a no-brainer, right? It seems like you should hook up a merchant center account, no matter what brand you are, and
Totally.
just get your products. And then at least you have that. Worst case scenario, you just start tagging your own products in your own videos,
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yep.
And then if you do influencer marketing or outreach, you should just consider telling them, like if they're YouTubers, hey, now you
Yeah.
can easily tag products where
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
wasn't available before.
Exactly. So you're doing TikTok shops, you're doing other affiliate outreach. Yeah, just share with those affiliates. Hey, we're on YouTube affiliate as well. Here's how you tag it, and we'd love to pay a commission on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And then for the other ads, it sounds like you said you should just dabble with just getting your brand out there in the beginning. And then if you're seeing traction, maybe it might make sense to do a conversion related campaign.
Yeah, I think so. And it's the nice thing is if you start kind of small and you're just comfortable with view based metrics and not seeing direct conversions, that's at least going to show you like what hooks resonate. What are people engaging with? You will see some clicks. I don't want to say there's no clicks. And you
Sure.
can also see, okay, I ran these 5 videos. These 2 had the best view rate and the best click through rate. So, okay, I could probably do something with these, right? And then you could lean into a conversion based campaign, but you probably need 3 to 500 to 1,000 a day to really get
Right.
enough conversions where you're feeding the algorithm where it can go find you more conversions, that type of thing.
Yeah. And as far as you know, outside of what Google can do for you or just looking at your branded search uplift, really you just got to look at like the halo effect, right? And
Gotta
try
look
to
at the halo effect. Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I mean, I think that the search lift inside of Google is really valuable. Their iROAS or conversion lift studies, seeing the direct conversions, and then yeah, looking for is direct traffic up on my .com and is branded search up, and then is branded search up on Amazon. So it is a little more work. That's for sure. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta be up for that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks a lot for the overview, Brett. If anyone needs help on this stuff, where can they find you?
Yeah, man, would love to connect with anybody that's looking at YouTube or Google or Amazon. We help with all those, but I'm on LinkedIn. So if anybody wants to connect on LinkedIn, I try to post pretty regularly. Brett Curry on LinkedIn, but then omgcommerce.com. If you have questions about YouTube, reach out. We'd love to chat, talk strategy, talk shop, show you what might be possible with YouTube for you. And so that's the best way to connect. omgcommerce.com.
But you're right, Brett. I mean, you got me thinking, like, TV is pretty much dead. Like, only people like my mom have cable, and, all the young people are watching YouTube and
Watching
TikTok and
creators and
whatnot.
stuff. Totally,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah.
So,
Mm.
it's like the old school TV on steroids
It
in a
is.
way,
It's
so
the new
you have to.
TV, yeah.
Right, you gotta be
Yeah.
on it.
And people are watching content like yours, but like my 14-year-old daughter, she loves watching YouTube Shorts on TV, which believe it or not, that's growing, which that
Well,
seems
yeah.
silly to me, but
Yeah,
she loves watching YouTube Shorts on TV.
yeah. Well, thanks, Brett. I hope the listeners appreciate you, and if you ever wanna see this guy in person, come to the Seller Summit. He
Seller
always has a
Summit,
crowd around him,
baby.
though, so you might have to take a number.
Awesome. Steve, always great to chat, man. Thanks so much for the invite, and look forward to chatting again.